With the United States and Canada knee-deep in a trade war, I asked myself, who is this man leading Canada that is not backing down to our American president? Guys, I had to find out. I decided to do a deep dive on Mr. Mark Carney, find out everything that I needed to know about him, because really I don't know much. Guys, stick with me while we go through this deep dive and learn more about this fascinating individual. Mark Carney is not your typical politician. He's a former central banker, crisis manager, and climate activist who just happens to be leading Canada at one of its most turbulent moments in modern history. His journey from middle-class upbringing in the Northwest Territory to the highest echelons of global finance have made him one of Canada's most experienced prime ministers ever. But will his decades of financial expertise be enough to take on the aggressive tactics of our president? And what kind of leader is he really? Let's find out. Born in 1965 in Fort Smith, Northwest Territories, Carney grew up middle class. His dad was a principal and his mom was a teacher. His early years were marked by harsh winters, a strong work ethic, and an ambition that would take him far beyond his small town. As Mr. Carney absolutely crushed it in high school, so he earned a scholarship to go to Harvard, where he studied economics, after which he went to Oxford and got his master's and his doctorate. And guys, his academic credentials alone made him stand out, but it's what he did with them that set him apart. You can see him here at Oxford playing hockey. He played hockey for most of his life, and it's actually one of the things that he says influenced his management style. The way he approaches problems is like he would when he's on a hockey team, and he challenges things the same way that he would have when he played hockey, and he defends the same way. It's really cool the way that he incorporates this into his life. Unlike most politicians, Mr. Carney didn't come up through Parliament. He spent over a decade at Goldman Sachs, where he worked out of New York, Tokyo, and London, becoming an expert in emerging markets, risk management, and most importantly, he gained first-hand experience with global economic instability. I think this will help him in the future, guys. But in 2003, unexpectedly, he left Wall Street to join the Bank of Canada. But this would set him up for one of the most pivotal leadership roles in his entire life. By 2008, Mr. Carney had been appointed the governor of the Bank of Canada, just in time for the greatest financial collapse since the Great Depression. But guess what? Canada did great. His early intervention saved Canada's banking system. It meant that not one single Canadian bank had to be bailed out. And it got him incredible international recognition, guys. It proved that he wasn't just some finance guy. He was a crisis manager. By 2013, Mr. Carney had made such a name for himself that Britain approached him, and he became the very first non-British governor of the Bank of England, just in time for the Brexit crisis, which he led Britain through beautifully. And not only that, he established new financial regulations. Things like, for example, where big banks couldn't crash the economy again the same way that they did in 2008. Not only that, he became an advisor to world leaders, speaking at the G7 and G20 summit. And most admirably, it's during this time that he developed a new mission, fighting climate change through finance. After leaving the Bank of England, instead of getting some cushy private sector job, he decided to go on and try to fight climate change. He became the UN Special Envoy on Finance, and he pushed banks to divest from fossil fuels and invest in renewable energy. He worked with the World Economic Forum to push climate-friendly investments, and he argued that global markets should push sustainability and not short-term profits. His climate leadership made him one of the most influential voices in sustainable finance, which gained him a lot of love from climate activists, but a lot of hate from the fossil fuel industry, obviously. Despite his global reputation, this man had never run for office until right now. In early 2025, Mr. Justin Trudeau decided to step down as Canada's Prime Minister. And with US and Canadian relations already struggling, the Liberal Party turned to this man, Mr. Mark Carney, to hopefully restore economic stability. Now comes the US-Canada trade war. Now this man right here has slapped tariffs on Canadian goods, including aluminum, lumber, and dairy, key sectors of Canada's economy. He's openly talked about annexing Canada and making it our 51st state. But guess what, guys? This man is not backing down. He's already mobilizing international allies to counter Trump's trade policies. He's working closely with the EU and China to help figure out a way to reduce Canada's dependency on the United States. And he's threatening retaliatory tariffs. Guys, most Canadian prime ministers in the past have focused on diplomatic appeasement. This guy is hitting back hard. Something that's making him both a hero and a target in this US-Canada trade war. Now, when it comes to the numbers, he might be very serious, no-nonsense kind of guy. But behind the scenes, he's incredibly relatable. He loves hockey. He's a fitness enthusiast. And he doesn't do these like whole political theatrics. He's very data-driven. And at the end of the day, dude, guys, like an intelligent, resilient, confident guy like this is rare when it comes to politicians. Just the amount of education that he has is so rare. I wish there was an American politician with this level of education, well-roundedness. I mean, my God, to see our president maybe go for a run would be incredible. Going from a middle-class kid in the Northwest Territory to one of the most powerful economic minds on the planet, what a journey, guys. But honestly, being Canada's prime minister during a Canada-United States trade war probably will be the hardest task he's ever faced, except maybe raising these three little angels, right? But seriously, guys, I think that he's well positioned. I think he's intelligent. His quiet confidence, his ability to manage crisis is going to be invaluable to Canada within the next couple years. Here's the thing, guys. Mr. Mark Carney is not just another politician. This guy is incredibly intelligent. He's incredibly capable. He's so well educated. I mean, my gosh, how refreshing it must be in Canada to have a leader of this caliber, guys. I wish you all the best. I wish him the best. I hope that he absolutely dominates in this coming trade war. I think it's unfair what the United States is doing to its neighbors. We just did a deep dive on Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, 2 nights ago. Guys, go watch that. But she is also incredibly intelligent, educated. I think between Canada and Mexico, there has to be something that they can figure out, some way to stop what is happening in the United States. Guys, I wish you the best. God bless Canada. God bless Mr. Mark Carney.